Good morning. It's Thursday, the 22nd of August, 2024. Welcome to another wonderful morning episode of Wake Up Nigeria. Let's kick off this day with some color and, of course, art, as it is Thursday.
It is so fun of Artsy Thursday.
Definitely.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thursdays are all about pushing forward, staying inspired, and embracing the energy of a brand new day.
Yeah,
Mike,
a brand new day.
Are you ready to make this morning unforgettable?
Oh, yes, as much as we can. We try to make every morning different from every other one. And, of course, it is. There are no 2 days that are the same. We've got an incredible lineup that will entertain you, inform you, and inspire you this morning.
That's right. So grab your favorite cup of beverage. I was going to say coffee, but yes, favorite form of beverage. Let's stick to that today. Settle in and let's make this Thursday a day to remember.
Definitely.
I am Mary Bashua Alimi.
Mike Mexicano. You can catch us live anywhere on the world. Our website, that is one place you can catch the live stream, tvcentertainment.tv/live stream.
That's right. We're also live on GOTV channel 16 and UHF band 49. Follow us across all social media platforms, X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and the works at TVC Entertainment _. Stay connected and make sure you don't miss a minute, all right?
Yep, the hashtag is Wake Up Nigeria on TVC for engagement and interaction. Would love to hear from you.
That's right. So let's tell you what we have in store for you this first hour.
Yep, nothing like an art display on a Thursday morning. We've got Sopuruchi Uzoatebu, who is a visual artist with a name has made a name for himself in painting. Now, we're going to be looking at his works, discussing and analyzing all what he has done, and of course, the works that he will bring here. The month is really going fast. The 22nd of August, and very soon.
Or 23rd?
Yeah,
I feel like it's
22nd. 22nd. No, don't rush. Don't rush. Take it slow. and I mean, the year is actually coming to an end, and of course, as in the Ember months, that's what we're getting into.
Yes.
And when it's the Ember months, start thinking of the end of the year, and. Start thinking about, okay, how's the year been so far? Goals for those who want to set goals, for those who have,
Reflecting.
and all of that, reflection and all of that. But really, it's not been a bad year for me now. If I had an earnest wish, right, it would be for generality, because maybe because as media practitioners, we tend to feel the pulse of the people and talk about what the people feel.
Yeah.
So more often than not, rather than thinking of how can my lot be better, I'm thinking of how can we ensure that we create an environment where the lots of majority, might not be everybody, but the lots of majority is better. I mean, this morning on my way here, of course, I heard about the increase in the passport fee. So it was, I think it's now 100,000 from 70 for the bigger one. For the bigger one.
For 10 years.
Yes, for 10 years, exactly. And then the one for 5 years.
10,000 per year.
Yeah, the one for 5 years was, I think it was it
35?
It was 35.
Yes.
And it's now 50? Yeah, I think it's now 50, yes. I think, it's now 50. And then the other one was 70 and it's now 100.
100.
I think the reason I was giving it for integrity of the passport, I don't know what kind of reason that was.
So, I like the way government officials come up with all these interesting names. Integrity of the passport is why it had to be increased. They'll say, so many people are applying. The passport has been increased over the years, as a matter of fact, and it's just unfortunate that someone who, has saved up is ready to get things done, because there are so many things that are also dragging your money.
Yeah.
You might say, passport is probably, in quotes, the cheapest of all the things you would need to travel. But hey, there are visa fees, there are other things. I just feel like not everybody who does the international passport is doing it for the purpose of traveling.
Oh yeah,
Some
it's
people
identification.
are using it as a means of identification.
It's identification, in fact.
And do you know how many people have blank passports they've had since they were young?
There are many, of course. Not
steady renewing.
Over 200 million. So what? I'm actually looking at renewing my own also, and I would want to go for the 10-year own and all of that. Like you said, it's the ultimate means of identification. It's actually a passport, and so when we talk about subsidy and everything, and how people are complaining about how subsidy is eating into governments everywhere, even in the most advanced countries, subsidize.
Yes,
everywhere.
Exactly.
That's
there are
why,
things
that's
that
why
have been, especially food. Especially food.
Everywhere.
No matter how bad the economy is, most governments subsidize food just to ensure that food gets the right thing. But when we don't even have the right records, the right statistics, so how can they trail the right farmers? You're subsidizing to people who don't even have farmland.
I mean, now you go mention farmland, I think of insecurity, about an emir also, a village leader who was killed.
In fact, and now it's not even the insecurity.
Yeah.
Farmlands, people were excited, and then the rain just went.
Rain just went. All right. Well, we'll talk more about all of this when we get later on what's up and about. Let's take a time out now, and the news is coming right up.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. We begin from the nation's capital, where oil workers have expressed concern over the future of the oil and gas industry in Nigeria due to challenges like oil theft and poor welfare. In the third edition of the Energy and Labour Summit 2024, organized by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Sector Staff Associates of Nigeria, the workers expressed the need for partnerships to end oil thefts. Senior correspondent Sharon Ijasa reports.
To advance conversations over energy transition, oil workers in Nigeria are joining the debate with an Energy and Labour Summit. The summit, organized by Petroleum and Natural Gas Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASN, is the third in the series. The president of PENGASN, Festus Osifo, stressed that there must be a universal salary benchmark for oil and gas workers.
Our summit serves as a platform for dialogue, collaboration, and actions. And I'm confident that together we can forge a path towards a brighter and more sustainable energy future for our industry and nation. I call upon each one of you to join hands in shaping the future where Nigeria oil and gas industry stands at a paragon of pliability, novelty, and responsible stewardship.
With our collective wisdom and determination, the outcome of this summit will definitely make significant impact on the current state of our petroleum sector. Let us therefore work together to create a more prosperous and environmentally conscious Nigeria, leaving a legacy that future generations will be proud of.
Stakeholders at the event spoke about the theme of the event, the future of Nigeria's oil and gas industry, energy mix, energy security, artificial intelligence, divestment, and crude oil theft.
The issue of energy mix is no more an idea. It's a reality that we are all going to embrace. But how do you fund the other energy sources? You need to raise the requisite dollars, petrodollars, to be able to fund the other energy sources. And you will also agree with me that the surest way to Nigeria's energy security is through the traditional oil and gas sector, which you know, are the experts. And so one of the things we've decided to do from the policy standpoint as ministry is to ensure that every fallow well is utilized.
It was agreed at the event that for sustainable economic growth in the country, there is a need to enhance energy growth. Sharon Ijason, TVC.
Outside Nigeria, 4 bodies have been brought to shore from the wreckage of the British superyacht that sank in a sudden storm off Sicily. The head of Sicily's Civil Protection Agency, Salvatore Cucina, later confirmed that a 5th body has been found inside the boat, and efforts are on to bring the body to shore. Their recovery follows intense search in the deep waters of the Italian coast. He said there will be an investigation in due course, but the priority is to find those who are still missing. 6 people were declared missing after the yacht sank on Monday, and a body of the yacht's chef, Ricardo Thomas, was recovered from the sea that day. The identities of the just recovered bodies have not been released.
All right. Okay. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We'll just touch on a number of things, you know, happening. The first one was, the first I heard was how much it will cost to give constant electricity
in Nigeria.
Not confirmed the exact amount, but the amount I heard was exorbitant. It was shaky because I was thinking, wow, you know. And then I mentioned something to Mary and Miriam just for keep on that. Everywhere, things are subsidized by the government for the people. Everywhere around the world, even in the biggest countries and the biggest economies. The problem we have is the fraud in the subsidy.
Exactly.
That's where the problem is. It's not something we're talking about, everywhere. I mean, that's why you pay taxes. So that's why your money, because so that things are subsidized for you, services are offered to you and all of that. So it's a normal thing. But the problem is the fraud that is inside. And then when you hear about people talking about, somebody just sits down and fills a ledger or fills a statement, and that statement is putting there millions of liters, and you are seeing millions of dollars just going out, and there's nothing, checks and balances or accountability, nothing is happening. And it just brings me to the fact that when we talk about Nigeria, people talk about how corruption is the bane of the country and all that. And I tell people that it's not corruption. For me, look, corruption is, how much is this phone? It's 20 naira. Okay. Let me write 20,000 naira, but I will give you the phone because you paid that 20 naira. Then the 18,000 whatever balance, I'll keep it. You say that person is corrupt. But you see the one where you say, how much is this phone? 20 naira. Okay, I'll write 20 million. And then you don't even see the phone, sir.
At all.
That is even deeper.
You know, this thing you're saying about corruption and fraud and all, that's actually what caused the first subsidy removal in the first place. The fact that there's just too much fraud going on in that industry.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because when we talk about corruption being the bane of Nigeria, just as you said, is something I've always found, would I say, something that can be contested. Because there is no country, I dare say, without corruption.
1,000.
But what happens is, just as he said, when you're doing things, at least show workings, as the street slang goes. So you are not doing anything, yet the money just keeps disappearing. You hear contract has been given for this, or this has been paid for, or that has been paid for, and nothing is seeing the light of day. It is actually repulsive. Now, besides that, there's also the case of saboteurs, where that's what the government was trying to fix the past few months, where you see people destroying cables that are going to supply electricity to the country. And of course, that brought about the conspiracy theory on how some people that import generators, generating sets, power generating sets, that is, are behind such incidents. And so there are quite a number of issues going on. And Nigerians fail to take responsibility. Responsibility in the sense that most Nigerians are fond of, concern me. If you not affect me directly, I don't go put mouth. And in most cases, that is what causes the problem. You see someone destroying a public property, but then you say, I don't want wahala, make I come on my mind, make I come on my face, make I do like say I no see am. Who are you doing? You're doing yourself, you're doing the country, you're hurting the economy because the government will still have to fix it. And we keep forgetting something. When things are destroyed, they have to be replaced. And replacing such items is money that should go into other things. And then you say the government is corrupt. Fine. We know quite well that a lot is going on. However, in what ways have we ourselves tried to improve the economy in our own little way? People have taken advantage of this increments in dollars. And so much so that items that shouldn't cost as much as they do are actually super expensive. Just last week, a bucket of flour was 4,000 naira. Now, that same bucket is between 4,500 and 4,700. Why? Why? Why do things get increased indiscriminately like this? And the dollar has been steady for a while now. So what is the reason? So we need to look at so many factors when we're talking about Nigeria's problems and the economy. It's actually unfortunate that we don't take pride in ourselves. The other day, you were talking about your visit to Rwanda. And I remember someone I spoke to that traveled to that space saying people, they own their country. It's not as if Rwanda doesn't have problems. It's not as if corruption doesn't thrive there as well. But they own their country. If someone should throw something on the floor, they'll be like, no, you don't. They don't say, if they catch you. That's the Nigerian mentality. If they catch you. They don't say that. They say, no, pick that. You're staining the streets. You're messing things up. They own their country. There's this pride in being Nigerians. But the pride Nigerians take is to come and ruin their country's image on social media. You should see some of these countries that have good PR. That is what they have, a good PR.
I was talking.
But we
and the people, the citizens actually are the PR of the country,
yes.
the country's PR.
Yes.
Because I go to other countries and I see how they talk about their countries with so much pride. Yes. Yes, I would like to believe that everybody has a role. The government has a role to play. We as citizens also have a role to play. I was having a conversation with someone a few days ago because, to be honest, every time I come into Lagos, I feel like there's this heavy cloud over me. It can't be seen, but it's just somewhere there.
You know what's funny? The way she did her shoulder, like she could feel the cloud.
Yes, Mary, that's deep. Because and then because when I came into the hustle and bustle, fuel scarcity, queues, like endless queues, you know, at fuel stations. And I was lucky to have, you know, just driven into a filling station, and the queue wasn't so much. I was able to get fuel. However, how is it that when we are in other parts of the world, even in other parts of
Africa,
states,
or even in the States, exactly, let's not go far.
We are able to, you know, abide by the laws, abide by the rules that govern that space. We do it very well. We do it, you know, with so much diligence. But the minute we step into, you know, a space where so much, you know, that there are no regulations, a lot is just, you know, so many things are just allowed to, you know, take place, or are just, you know, everybody's just acting and behaving anyhow. It's a bandwagon effect.
Yeah.
It's a mindset that needs to change. We need to be able to, you know, consciously create that shifts in our minds. And it starts with the way we raise our children. That's why I still go back to charity begins at home. We all have a role to play in the way that we raise our kids, in the way that, you know, in our relations, in our personal relations with, at work, in any space that we find ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we are our brother's keeper. We are the architect of our own misfortune. Okay, let's use the last protest, for example. In other parts, some of the northern states, we saw a lot of vandalism, looting.
At the rice mill. But
it was ridiculous. Did it solve the problem? No, it did not solve the problem. I'm not saying that we should not be agitated. All I'm just saying is we need to do it with, you know, caution.
And you know, that brings me to something else, talking about caution. There's a commission that needs to caution people. I'm taking it back to prices. Price Regulatory Commission. I've been talking about this thing for months now.
I was going to even talk about that.
And I'm finding it worrisome that nothing is being done. Where somebody can wake up one day and decide that an item of 5 naira must be sold 100 naira, and the person gets away with it. I actually find this thing very scary and worrisome, because it's no longer funny. People put prices on things indiscriminately. People decide whatever they want to sell things at any point. Even transportation, which is a major problem, is also guilty of this. These transporters are reeling in money in the millions because they are getting away with it. Government will add 100 naira. The transport, the fare will go up by 300 naira.
Yeah, so the government needs to now step in using the regulatory bodies that are in charge of this, you know.
That's why I keep calling on the Price Regulatory Commission.
A lot of times when I get to use public transport, when you see the Agberos on the road and the money that they drop at different points, you self will pity them.
Guy, if one trip is 30K, with the way they are charging now, if one trip is 30K, you use 4K to settle Agbero, and you use 5K to buy fuel. Haba.
You know, that's the same thing that happened with food transportation. If you want to buy yam now, there are places you buy yam very cheap, but you see,
getting it there.
And
then let's not even talk about landlords. But we have to take a break now.
25 receipts from Banwo, West Banwo State. 25. Each one. And you're entering you have to pay.
You have to pay.
Oh. Now, wow.
All right, let's know your thoughts, guys, on the conversation so far. Don't forget to use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
All right, so welcome to the kitchen this morning on Wake Up Nigeria. Chef Arela, our chef of the month, is still here.
Good morning.
Good to have you in the studio with us.
Thank you, nice to be here.
All right, so we're having breakfast, of course.
Yeah.
What is for breakfast?
So we're doing pasta salad.
Ha, you have a thing for pasta these days.
Personal, well, you know, sometimes
You've always had a
just
thing
go
for
with
pasta,
the thing.
really.
Yeah, you go with
The thing with you is either pasta or yam. That's why, do you know what his nickname is? His nickname is Baba Onishu. I'm going to say it. That's a yam man, so to speak.
Right.
I don't say yam seller. More like yam man. But hey, so you said pasta, what are we having?
salad.
Pasta salad.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we're going on another unusual route with the
Okay.
pasta salad. So,
Okay.
yeah, so because some ingredients might not be what people are, some persons are used to having
Okay.
with their salad. But
Okay.
and then I'm using my own personal favorite, macaroni.
Okay.
This is like one of the most misunderstood pasta in the world.
When you say misunderstood, what do you mean?
Let's say like a large percentage of people be like, oh, macaroni, I don't like it.
Well, you have a point.
Then when it's cooked also, it comes out looking like,
Blah, 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 blah.
yeah, so,
But it's actually a very versatile type of
Yeah,
pasta.
it is.
Besides the fact that it can be eaten plain like this, some people snack on it. I don't know how you people do it. But at the same time, when you boil it, you can use it for so many things.
many.
As Chef Arela is planning to do this morning, you can use it for your salad. You can use it as a form of snack. Some people boil and fry
Boil
it.
and fry, yeah.
Like people do a lot of things with it. You have no idea. But let's talk about the ingredients. What are we making use of?
so yellow and
Okay.
green pepper,
Okay.
corn,
Okay.
tomatoes,
Okay.
cucumber. Then I'll
Okay.
be making dressing for it.
Okay, so that's what, are you using the lemon or the zest?
So both.
Both,
The zest
okay.
and
This
the
lemon
juice.
looks so beautiful. How much did you buy it?
This one went for, I think, 200.
200. There's lemon of 200. Is this good?
Well,
Wow.
if you know how to.
You're very,
how to
very
get
good at this thing. You have to show me how.
to
Okay.
get them. And of course, oil.
Vegetable oil.
Vegetable oil.
Now, this might be
That's
invisible, but
yeah,
it's salt.
brown sugar,
Okay.
and some pepper.
Yeah, so besides that, we're also going to be making use of mayonnaise. Yeah, so that we're going to use that as
So that goes with the dressing.
yes, with the dressing. Okay, so run me through the process. What's the cooking process like?
So this gets boiled,
Okay.
salted only,
Okay.
and we drain. So then we run cold water through it because
Okay.
it's not supposed to. It's not, salad generally is not hot.
Yeah.
So we allow that cool down. So while that cools down, we make the dressing.
Okay.
So in that dressing, the lemon juice,
Okay.
lemon zest.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll also be putting a bit of fresh garlic, just
Okay.
one,
Okay.
some oil,
Okay.
brown sugar, mayonnaise. Make the dressing while we prepare other vegetables
Okay.
that goes with it.
Okay, so the vegetables, we are not going to do anything to them. They're just going into the macaroni. Are we cooking them together,
All right,
or
so-
what exactly are we doing with them?
It's just, okay, this part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But ordinarily, this can be eaten raw.
Raw, yeah,
Just
definitely.
when it's properly cleaned.
Yeah.
Because they actually have this sweetness that they
Yes.
also provide. So, but, just I go
No,
chop.
but it depends, though. Do you know when you mix this, when you cut it into tiny bits, yeah?
Exactly.
And then you mix it with food.
And it
Most
just-
people don't even know that that's what they are eating. And it's not being boiled, it's
Exactly.
not nothing. The thing about food that I've realized is food is beautiful and it's versatile. There's so many things you can do with your meals. There's so many ways you can experiment and you still make a fantastic dish. This is corn.
Yeah, it's corn.
Okay, so it's fresh corn.
It's fresh.
Is it the fresh sweet
it's
corn?
fresh
or is
sweet-
it just
fresh
fresh
sweet
sweet
corn,
corn?
yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, you can get sweet corn in Nigeria now, in case you didn't know.
Fresh sweet
We
corn.
actually have it in abundance as well. We have to head straight to the couch right now for newspaper headlines, and I know MM and Mike are on standby for that.
Thank you very much, Mary. It's time for us to go through the front pages of the newspaper, and I'm not doing this alone. I've got Mike with me. Hello, Mike.
Okay. All right.
So we start off with the Nation newspaper. Making the headlines here, we have fresh, excuse me, fresh inflow triples foreign investors' portfolios to 598 billion naira. Total transactions at the NGX rose from 2.15 trillion naira to 3.1 trillion naira in 1 year. And at the top of the paper here, scheme to eliminate trade bottlenecks roll out. And 220 illegal refineries found in 1 week. Vandalized pipelines are rise. Sorry, I'm trying to... okay, moving on. Why airports are performing below capacity by FAN. And Minister, our plans for National Youth Dialogue. And just right here at the bottom of the paper, passport fees rise to 100,000 naira, 50,000 naira. Applicants abroad not affected. And finally, plots to remove Damagum deepens PDP crisis. And that's all on the cover of The Nation. And Mike, so there are two stories here that sort of got my attention. Okay. One is the illegal refineries. Oh. There has been, the government has been, there's been a crackdown by the government on illegal refineries popping up from, you know, the oil and gas to palm oil to artisanal. Yes. But they still keep coming up, especially in the Niger Delta. And
that's the region. That's where the oil is. They will. The people feel cheated. Yeah. The people feel, you know, maligned. The people feel used. And what happens in that kind of situation? They want to fight for themselves, and then they want to have some share of the national cake. As I saw one of these refineries. In fact, getting to that place, the marshy, it was, you know, the mangrove, the swamp that you had to even get to go there. And then these guys were refining, like you saw them refining oil, like almost everything in. Do you understand? It just goes to show you how bad the situation of things are. Yeah. You understand? We have to find them. When people feel that way, like, okay, we are the people that are suffering these things. Are we compensated enough? Or even the majority of this thing you're talking about, it's just a messed up situation.
It is.
And for me, as much as we're cracking down on them, how can we get the best of these kind of things? Because it seems like, I don't know, in over 10 years, there's been no new refinery in Africa. We have allegations of people, of Africans who own refineries outside the continent, to tell you how, it's not just greed, to tell you how wicked people can be. You know, you want to keep people down, all at the expense of you.
Themselves.
And you know, getting more wealth and all of that. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's just mind-boggling.
And I know that we were going to touch on briefly on the passport fees increase. So the federal government has come out to say that there's going to be an increase, and this is going to take effect from the 1st of next month. And they're saying that this is basically to maintain the standard and the quality and integrity
I'm surprised
of
that
the Nigerian passports.
If you go now to get, you will not get anyone to that first reach now. They will just be delaying you now.
And so
rush to try and get 10 pages.
For the 32-page one, which is valid for 5 years, it's been increased from 35 to 50,000. And then the 64-page one, which has a 10-year validity, has been increased from 70 to 100,000 naira. And well. This goes to say, well, we'll see. But you want to take the Vanguard or any other?
No, I don't have that.
Okay, so go. Okay, I'll just go ahead. So let's take the Vanguard newspaper, making the headlines here. Still on fuel scarcity. Petrol scarcity worsens as marketers load at 780 naira per litre. Transport fares rise by over 200%. Nigeria becoming failed state, says Pengerson, and transporters lament impact on business. At the top of the paper here, on food inflation reducing, will reduce it further, says Finance Minister. Hashtag end bad governance, CSOs berate federal government over prolonged detention of protesters without charges. You can find more of that story on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Federal government increases international passport fees. We're discussing that briefly. Police invitation to Ajero. More critical unions give strike notices. And here we have federal government finally criminalizes vandalism of telecom facilities in new gazette. And fake certificates. Uganda, Kenya rights jam, demand student verification. And here is a picture story of Chris Famunyon special advisor on Africa to the U.S. President, former Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, and Mr. Peter Obi at the National Democratic Institute International Leaders Forum, which happened in the USA recently. That was yesterday. Okay, so you want to touch on any stories here?
The food inflation is quite very important. If we should lessen that as much as possible, and like I say, the subsidy or whatever, that is the most important thing now. When people cannot even eat, it's the most basic human need. Talking about food, so that is where we need the most subsidy, and that's where we need the most intervention from government, as it were.
So let's just take one more paper before we wrap this up. On the Punch newspaper, making the headlines here, PDP's chair, Wike tackle Clark as anti-Fubara plot thickens. Sounds like a movie. Pro-Fubara Wike assemblies hold parallel sessions, rumble in NYC over Rivers government. And I won't quit PDP, says Wike as Ikimi heads disciplinary panel on ex-governors' anti-party cases. At the bottom of the paper here, Togo Benin owe Nigeria $14 million for electricity, says NEC. And e-hailing drivers reject fare slash, threaten strike. Federal government working to avert impending ASU strike, says ministry. That story has been brewing since the beginning of this week. Still on the Dangote refinery, reduces crude imports from U.S., says reports. Government plans fresh $100 billion investments, and federal government hikes passport fees to 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira. And that's all on the Punch newspaper.
Welcome back to the kitchen this morning on Wake Up Nigeria. Chef Arela has been hard at work trying to ensure that breakfast is served in due time. We're having macaroni salad, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, that's what we're having for breakfast. So if you've been wondering how to make macaroni salad, or you want to tweak yours a bit to make it look different or taste different or just have a different feel, it will be a good idea for you to stick around to learn a thing or two regarding that. Okay, so far so good. What have we done? The water is boiling. Soon enough, we're going to put in the macaroni so it can boil. Remember what Chef Arela said earlier. You don't want it to be too soft.
Yeah, we don't
Please
want
go
it
ahead.
Yeah, so we don't want it to be too soft because one of the good things about salad is the fact that you get to enjoy what you eat. Like you bite, you chew. Yeah. So we want to have that feel alongside the vegetable. Yeah, so I'm cutting up the vegetables that will go along with the salad while we wait for
the water to boil.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one of the secrets. Sometimes you have to get the water to boiling point.
Yeah.
So your pasta cooks quickly and evenly.
Yeah.
And then you can just take it out as soon as
so happens. It's always a good idea when you're boiling stuff, be it rice or pasta, you know, ensure that the water is boiling. when it's boiling, it's easier for you to put things, you know, to make it go round. Though some people try to pull the trick of pour it in, then stir it in. Everybody stirs it in. But for you to be more evenly cooked, ensure the water is boiling before you throw in your pasta or rice. It helps a whole lot. Okay, so you're cutting the tomatoes into cubes-like, right?
Yeah, cube-like.
Okay.
Just trying to achieve, so because one of the things with salad sometimes why I feel it's not interesting for some persons because so when you get the salad and you have your bowl, then you see the ingredients, they all look like they are not
mismatched.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some are thin, some are fat, some are not.
Yeah.
So because when this comes, so you see the way I cut the julienne, so that it matches with the macaroni in the bowl, and I'm going to do the same thing with the cucumber. Cut it the same size. So when you have your bowl, you see everything looking even, and you know the colors are all attractive.
Now, for those who may want to experiment with ingredients, I'm going to ask you a quick question. But first, let's take a look at the ingredients on your screen right now, so you know exactly what we're using today. So you'll be wondering, this one Mary is asking for this, but I don't see it on the list. So we're making pasta salad, really easy to source the materials for the ingredients: pasta, tomatoes, cucumber, yellow pepper, green pepper, sweet corn. And we're also making use of some other items that aren't stated there, okay? As we mentioned earlier, we have brown sugar, black pepper, we have garlic, we have mayonnaise, we also have, lemon zest and juice, minced fresh garlic. So yes, the garlic is going to be minced. That's exactly what we're doing. That's for the salad dressing though. Yeah, so let's keep that in mind. There's a pasta salad and there's a salad dressing. That's what we're making use of this extra ingredients for, okay? All right, so I was going to ask before we checked out the ingredients, there's something I love about cooking, the fact that you can add and remove things. Sure. And one thing I'm wondering if it can go in here is avocado, because I know a lot of people experiment with avocado these days.
Yeah, so avocado, 100%. So, and it can work in two ways. Okay. You can actually make a salad dressing out of the avocado, and you can also add it to your salad. So, for the avocado, you can do avocado mayonnaise, you can do avocado olive oil, you can do avocado with Greek yogurt for your salad dressing, and you can also cut it up and mix. But you know, it's tender, so you probably might not want to mix, so it doesn't. So probably what you do is, it can be the last thing you add. So once you are done mixing your salad, you just cut it up in cubes and just spray it on top. Then you can have your dressing made out of mashed avocado as well with anything. You could just do a vinaigrette if you put it directly into. If you put the avocado into your salad.
Into the salad. Okay, so just out of curiosity, how do I make avocado mayo? Because I heard you say avocado mayo, and it made me curious. How do I do that?
So when we cut up the avocado, we mash completely into a paste, and then you can mix with your mayonnaise and maybe a bit of olive oil or vegetable oil. Okay. Then just mix together.
Okay. You don't need to add anything else.
No, it now depends.
Okay.
It depends on what you feel. You could do fresh garlic. You could do black pepper. You could do a bit of maybe a sprinkle of salt. And you could do if you like experimenting, you could just do any berry juice.
Oh, okay.
You could even do lemon juice as well.
Okay.
So the choice is yours, basically. What's your preference?
So if you love to cook, go ahead and experiment. Do whatever it is you feel will work. And it just might work. You never can tell. All you need to do is try. And talking about trials, I know quite well that MM is on standby right now. Let's have a conversation, MM.
Oh, I can't wait to see how that recipe comes together. Welcome. Yes. On the couch right here is our art display artist. She's the talented Blessing Sorporuchi Uzuatiregu. She's a visual artist who has made a name for herself in painting, a full-time studio artist and proud member of the Society of Nigerian Artists. She's also here to share her story with us, her journey as a visual artist. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Soporuchi.
Yeah,
I love the name.
Thank you
so much. It's very distinct.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. What does it mean?
It means respect God or fear God.
Respect or fear God. I love it. Talk to us about your journey as a visual artist. How did it all begin, especially in a male-dominated industry?
Well, my art journey has been a beautiful one.
Yeah.
Beautiful and, let me say, rough adventure. I call it an adventure journey.
Okay.
Because I started as an artist right from childhood, you know. My dad wanted me to be a petrochemical engineer.
Okay.
But I just woke up one day and I told him, Dad, I want to be an artist as a child. He was like, why would you want to be an artist? Art is meant for men, not a female thing. I told him that's what I want. I want to be an artist. And we quarreled over it for a couple of times. And at the time, he just blessed me to do what I want, not knowing that the next year I will lose him. So since then, thank you. Since then, I have been an artist right from my childhood. And what really inspired me was whenever I dream, I see myself acting, like painting, drawing, singing, stuff like that. I grew up becoming an artist, and I appreciated myself for that. And
fantastic. And the journey has been blissful from there.
Yeah, though at the time, it was quite difficult. It was quite difficult because when I get into school, I would say thank you to those people whom God have used to see me through, on my path. Because I wouldn't say I grew up with my parents.
I mean, I can't wait to, delve into your mind, your creative process as a visual artist.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the materials you use for your art pieces.
I use oil painting.
Okay.
I make use of oil most time.
Okay.
But I use acrylic, I use other medium, but right now I use oil.
You use oil.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this paintings for a minute.
Okay.
I particularly love the one with the lady, the young girl. Is she a lady or a young girl?
It's a young girl.
The young girl with the wrap, the head wrap over her head. I love it. It's beautiful. It depicts our culture, as Africans. And talk to us about that particular painting.
Yeah, I love my culture. I love Africa, I must say. And what I decided to talk about my culture because I can't see myself, into the white skin, like trying to depict another person's culture in my own culture. Even despite that, I'm trying to see how I can use art to bring the human race together. But talking about African culture, using the beads and the gele to talk about African culture is like there's something that brings us together, which is the beads. I studied about the beads. I realized that beads stands for royalty. It's like gold before the coming of the Western, the whites,
colonial masters,
the colonial masters. This bead was seen as gold, was seen as diamond, and was only used by the kings, the royals, the nobles.
Yes, the nobles.
Yeah, it was seen as gold. So when I want to use it, I now realize that in time to come, I realize that this bead is what brings us together in terms of traditional marriage, in terms of naming, or call it whatever. Yeah. The bead stands as a unified bird that brings the Africans,
that
brings us together. So that's why I use
what materials did you use for that painting? Because it stands out.
Like I said, I used oil painting.
Oil painting.
Yeah, that's
what's oil painting? What does it look like? What does it feel like?
Okay, it's a kind of, is in a tuber form, like I should have come with one or two of them. In a tube form, it is in a tube form. It's like toothpaste, but it's not a toothpaste.
Okay.
Very expensive.
Okay.
So
then you just use them to
mix it,
and then use in painting.
Is
that the prominent material you use for some of your paintings?
Yes, it's very expensive. I think it should be one of the most expensive
art materials you use. Okay, let's talk a bit about some of the other art pieces over there.
Okay.
Let's talk about the one just right by me here, beside me here.
Okay.
What inspired that particular painting?
What inspires that painting is the question of talent, gift.
Okay.
I realized that the world you see today came to be out of gifts. And the world is as beautiful as it is because we have gifts. We have talent, we have ideas. Ideas brings you to limelight. Your gift brings you to limelight. So without your gift, without your ideas, without potential, you will remain hidden. The world won't see you. So what your gift brings you to limelight, brings you for the whole world to see.
Just as your gift brought you here.
Yeah, so I'm using this as a medium to tell the world, to tell the people, keep working and keep working on that thing, that little thing you feel it is not important.
Talk to us about I see that she's in a field. It looks like she's in a field with, are those tulips or daisies? I'm not exactly sure. The flowers you use.
Okay, I
what
use
it symbolizes.
Sunflower.
Flower. Oh, okay.
It symbolizes fame.
Beautiful.
Fame,
love it.
you know. Fame. It symbolizes fame.
I love
and
it. Okay.
That's what it symbolizes for me.
Let's talk about the lucrativeness as a female artist. How lucrative is it for you in terms of acceptance? What's it been like for you?
It's beautiful.
Okay.
You know, in time past, female artists were not really, will I say, not really accepted.
Yeah.
But right now,
there's a lot of acceptance.
Yeah, there's a lot of acceptance in the industry for female artists. You know, and it's huge for the female artists.
And you're making a lot of money from it.
Yeah, when you know what you are doing.
When you know what you're doing.
And when you know where you are going to.
Sopuruchi, thank you for sharing your gift with us on the show this morning.
Thank you.
Your art pieces are beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm wishing you all the best in the space.
Thank you.
All right, fantastic. And that's it on our art display for now. It's the top of the hour. The show continues shortly. Stay with us, guys.
It's been an hour of excitement so far. We just rounded up with art display, some beautiful art pieces there that you were able to see. Yes, and of course, Mary, of course, was in the kitchen. Also, what's we doing there?
We're making macaroni salad.
Macaroni salad?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes,
wonderful.
and I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this comes together because I love all the ingredients we're making use of.
We're putting it together.
Yeah.
Well, that's been 1 hour of the show so far. If you've missed it and you're just joining in, you still got 45 more minutes to make it happen for you.
That's right. So we're here to keep your energy levels high and your spirits even higher. And the best part of the morning is right here, right now. We've got 45 minutes, as Mike said, and it's packed with everything you need to keep your Thursday on track. All right?
Okay, my name is Mike Messikeno.
And my name is Mary Bashua Alimi. In the kitchen is MM.
All right.
Looking like she's been the one who has been hard at work with Chef Arela.
Well, if you think so, that's fine, but no. Well, Chef Arela has been hard at work. You know, putting together this macaroni salad is also healthy for those of you on an endless fitness journey.
Okay.
Did she just say endless?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's
Did you catch this? There's no destination.
There's no destination. It's about the journey. I think I love that annotation there.
So, you know, you were talking about fitness, and then I remember today is burger day. So you may want to treat yourself to a burger, even during your fitness journey.
Had one, and I've been staying off flour, wheat, bread, rice in the last couple of weeks. So I rushed in. I was really hungry this day. As a matter of fact, it was even the day I got back. I rushed into the restaurant and I asked for burger chips. And then I was just about to have the first bites.
When you remembered
Then I remembered, oh wow, I'm actually on a no-flour diet for now and like a no-carbs diet for now.
Tell me you ate it.
I didn't.
Bravery.
I didn't.
That's good. That's good.
Funny enough, I didn't have the craving for it anymore.
So you ordered it?
I didn't, and I didn't feel like eating it anymore.
Waited for it to be packed. And then when you were about to bite into it was when you now remembered.
And then, you know,
your
even
body
when...
was ordering it.
No, but you know that I think it also took some level of discipline.
Oh,
right? It did. Because even with the decision to go on that, you know, diet or that journey, sometimes you're tempted, especially when you've come face to face with shot. When it has come close to your mouth like this, You're tempted to even say, oh, whatever, let me just, But I dropped it. I didn't take it.
You just reminded me of Betty and the cheat days.
Endless cheat days.
That's criminal.
Yeah, so yeah.
It takes a whole lot of discipline, yeah, because when you want to go on that kind of stuff, like you said, you can easily want to use that cheat day as a thing. Well, today's cheat day.
Yeah, today, yeah.
But it's good. And
until the day you realize you have cheated yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. More awareness as you get old, more awareness is drawn to the fact that for me now, what I'm thinking about doing now is intermittent fasting.
Yeah, I saw that post.
It's about, it's almost like when you take a system, it's like resetting a system. So you start maybe 12 hours and then you get into 24 hours. It's just like rebooting the system.
So what's your timeline? Is it 18/6?
I don't know how to start. So I want to even get more knowledge. I've not yet started it.
Okay.
But I want to, make it I'm about to get started in this. So I just want to get all the information that I need to get about intermittent fasting and get into it, yeah. So basically our health, someone says that, look, a lot of what is happening to us, it's here.
Yes.
Your gut.
Yes.
If you can control a lot of it from the way you feel to physical illnesses to even mental.
Yes.
It's crazy.
That is the gut is the second
that controls. Yes, it is.
It's crazy that sugar is actually man's biggest problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like sugar is actually what worsens cancers because it's what feeds cancers.
Yes.
And other such things. So if you can cut sugar off your diet, God help you.
There's a lot.
You might be able to pull it off.
Well, I don't think, if you're going on that journey, don't be hard on yourself. I think you should just
gradually, steadily, gradually.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a time out. There's still more to come on the show. Is right here with us to talk about it. Umano Elijah, it is great to have you. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
I like the black and the red. You're my own, I beg.
I think you will decide.
Don't worry. Thank you. Hold on. How you doing, man?
I'm great.
Break of Dawn. That's quite a piece because I've also seen, clips of it, pictures and all of that. And tell us about the story, how you came to direct Break of Dawn, what you've done before now.
Okay, so I have done quite other things. Like I was a DP for Amajiri, the AY movies.
Okay.
I was director of Devin Agbada. I was in cinemas in 2023 and several other things.
Okay.
AMVCA double nominee winner and several other things too as well.
Well done. So is this your first debut directorial master?
No, not first. No.
Okay.
Not first, no.
What number? Where does this come in?
It should be not the second, not the third.
Okay. So you've been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah.
What makes this different? What makes this unique?
Okay, this is quite unique because there are quite some elements in this film that haven't been seen in your normal Nollywood films.
I like that. What are those elements? What should we watch out for? What would make us go out, go see that? Because you see, the thing with Nollywood is, as much as I appreciate what we are doing so far, someone mentioned a particular movie and said, oh, let this movie go for Oscars and all of that. There's been an improvement.
Yeah.
But that improvement, is it world class? Is another question.
Okay.
So talking about Break of Dawn, what are those things that you say that makes this unique from maybe what we already have out there?
So basically, last night I made a tweet that me coming to TV, so I'm about to give you guys 972,000 reasons why they need to watch Break of Dawn.
Okay,
so good. I just hope I have enough time to.
972,000. You have all the time in the world.
So the first one, the story is quite unique. The story is quite different. I'll summarize that later. The quality, the production is top notch.
Okay.
It has several elements that you're not likely going to see in your normal contemporary Nollywood film.
Okay.
That's how many now? That's like 700 now.
Okay, that's 800 already. 800,000.
So, the cast line again is
the cast.
Another level.
Yeah.
The performance from the lead actors are like, you can't wait to see it. Right?
Wonderful, wonderful. And putting this together, one other thing we'll talk about is when it comes to Nollywood movies is financing and all of that. Having to put such a piece together, like you said, doing things that you've not done before. How was it financing the movie and putting all of that together?
I think financing was one of the most difficult things, but thank God for good friends and well-wishers who you can call for backup. Because when you're doing a project, you should always have a backup because anything can happen.
Talking about this, we've heard at different times from different governments about how much of funds they put into entertainment. Have you ever come into contact or ever tried to access those funds that we say government, you hear one governor, one president come and say, oh, I've dropped 800 million or 800 billion or one thing. We hear that a lot. Is it accessible to filmmakers like you?
Let me be very frank without being political, right?
Yeah.
Just the way they hear the news, that's why they hear them too.
Okay.
Right, so I haven't gotten access to any of them, but I do hear the news. I do hear it fly around that at some point,
do you know people that have had access to this money? Do you know anybody?
Okay, the only one I know access of was BOI, and that was like 5 years ago. I knew people
back of industry. Okay.
I think there's a new one happening now. I don't even know anybody that I had access to.
And I think that's the problem, because we hear of monies being made available. I don't know whether it's a channeling or where, or I don't know. Because this question I've asked a different number of people. We've heard this thing. Has it gotten down to these filmmakers, the ones who need this money?
Okay, so now the thing is, what I think is going on is, there's a difference between you empowering your friends in the industry and empowering the whole industry. Yes, so I can just call like 2 of my, maybe I'm in an office in politics, and I say, okay, I want to give 2 of my friends so and so million. I'll target Nollywood funds.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, that's me just trying to empower my friends and my supporters, right?
Exactly.
So there are 2 different things. So I don't really know, are they trying to empower their friends, or they're empowering the industry?
The whole industry.
If you want to empower the industry, you don't need to give funds. Create infrastructures and put laws in place to make the industry thrive. I think everybody's going to benefit.
I like that. If we have major film villages that people can have access to, people can have access to a structure, to like you mentioned, things that we can use and all of that. And in that way, it really does make sense. Based on that, with what you're doing now, is it going to be available on cinemas or on streaming? Where can people check this out?
Okay, Break of Dawn will be in all cinemas nationwide from the 23rd of August 2024. That's Friday, Friday. And it's available in all cinemas, Genesis, Film House, Silver Bed, all cinemas. Anywhere, if there's any cinema close to you, check it out. The movie.
All right, something I wanted to ask, on your personal view on this, with the advent of streaming, of course, we know what COVID did. COVID was that 2020 was when streaming came mainstream and all of that. Do you think, as some people would say, that the cinema culture might just be, I don't want to use the word die, but might just need some sort of a resuscitation, as it were? Due to the advent of streaming?
After the COVID era, like a year after the COVID era, I think we had a little downtime in cinemas, right? But right now, I think from the stats we have on ground right now, it shows that the cinemas are coming back.
Right?
Regardless of what's going on, we still have the cinema audience. There are people that they don't like streaming movies with their phone. They like to be in the cinemas, enjoy the old sound surround and all that.
And I would say also that there are some movies that are there's some cinema movies.
Yes.
Peter Jackson and all the rest, he will tell you that, look, if you're doing Avatar, you cannot be watching Avatar on your phone. You need that kind of effect. But Nollywood movies now, have we gotten there where you say this movie is a made-for-cinema kind of feel?
Yes.
I don't know if you understand what I mean. That kind of scale, not just something on your phone. Are we there yet?
Yes. Yeah, I think we are there. I think we have some movies like that,
Okay. Yeah. And moving forward now, when it comes to the Oscars, those big prizes and all of that, what's the way forward? You think we are at that level where we can pick those awards? Because, the category we're looking at is probably Best International Film and all of that, those categories and all that. You think we can go up against it? Koreans have done quite well. I know they've picked, in recent years, they've picked up some awards in that part. Also, Bollywood, they've done quite well with and all of that. Can we say that we are getting to that level, we're at that level where we can compete with those people on an international standard?
Okay, so basically, I don't know about others, but for me, I'm not really so much of a person that's crazy about the Oscars, because we in Africa, we have several big awards as well as equivalent to the Oscars, right? So we're trying to fight to get the Oscars, like you not celebrating yourself enough, and you're looking for international validation, because we have the AFRIF, we have AMVCs, we have the AMAT, who are also big awards in Africa too as well.
Okay.
So for me, basically, I wouldn't even support we trying to compete and trying to get international validation. If we promote ourselves more and project ourselves more and project what we have in Africa, they should come to us.
They should, okay, but you know that the audience is now global.
Yes.
And to appeal to a global audience, some sort of validation will be needed. If you're trying to appeal to, we're not only appealing to ourselves. In fact, the diaspora at times seems like they're the major consumers of Nigerian content. That is why I think it was Kanaya who made mention of YouTube killing the industry.
Okay, so now let me use Afrobeat as a case study. Rema hasn't won or been nominated for a Grammy yet, but it's like a global phenomenon right now. So if you have the material, you don't even need that international validation. Rema is big in all aspects of music. So I'm using Afrobeat as a case study. Right? Yeah. So he doesn't need to win the Grammy to be as popular as he is right now global. I saw him on Barcelona's page 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That's just Rema.
Yeah.
Rema from Nigeria, right?
True.
For me, I'm not really crazy about the international validation. If we respect what we have and grow and improve what we have, they should be coming to us, not we trying or striving or lobbying or trying to get the Oscar.
Okay, so now now let's leave the Oscar part. I'm talking about now marketing.
Yes.
The consumer of the content now.
Yeah.
Where do you see? Do you think our content, diaspora consumption is what blew YouTube, especially Yorubawood, as it were, Yoruba Nollywood.
Yes.
The consumption in diaspora is much, and then they make so much money that, look, some people just say, okay, if I spend 2 days, I get a shortlet. Let me get 1 or 2 casts and all of that, which is why, going back to what Kanayo said, that is what is killing Nollywood, because now you spend so little for production, but people can consume it and all of that. Is that hampering big productions like you, like what you're doing now? This is major for cinema and all of that.
Yes.
You know, what?
So another issue, another downstream there is, like I said, infrastructures, right? We have, in Nigeria, we have less than 80 cinemas. Meanwhile, in America, in the States, you have up to more than 500 cinemas in one state.
Factos.
So we don't have enough...
Use your leg, just stroll. You know,
we don't have enough infrastructures for those kind of global distribution appeal and to get much. So that leads me to what I said earlier on. So the government should focus more on investing in industrial infrastructures in Nollywood
rather than grants in those kind of ways.
Just like sharing rice to people instead of
making them,
instead of like looking for the source of the poverty and solving that.
I feel you.
So yeah, that leads to that.
I feel you. All right, so Break of Dawn, 23rd, we can get to see it in cinemas, and people should just go out there and go check it out.
You're invited. Our premiere is on Friday at somewhere,
wonderful.
right?
All right,
but
wonderful.
Yeah, to be in those cinemas for months.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it, and yes, all of us wishing you the best.
Like you just need to see it. Like you just need to see Break of Dawn.
All right,
it's
well
different.
Done. Well done, Elijah.
Thank
well
you
done.
very much.
All right, well, you're able to hear it there. I'm looking forward to a mega production that we can go see on the big screen. That's talking about Break of Dawn. Stay with us. We'll take a time out. We'll be back after this.
Time for the book chat this morning on Wake Up Nigeria. We've got Adetunji Banwo with over 15 years experience as a project and program manager, management consultant, trainer, coach, mentor, and globally sought after professional speaker. He is the author of No Blacks, No Whites, Just the Human Race. This is the book right here. And it's one that first, let me welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm very, very happy to be here. Thank you.
So you'd have a hard time convincing me that this wasn't your thesis for your doctorate.
Oh, no. It's got nothing to do with my doctorate program, though. I wonder how you know I'm actually undergoing a doctorate program. But
see,
yeah.
I could guess because if you've read this book, you'd have a good understanding of what I mean. So it was meticulously researched and reading as well. It's obvious this is something you really put your soul into. Yeah. And I really appreciated that fact because sometimes you read books that are talking about, okay, they said, he said, but you're able to state the facts and a lot of research went into it. So that's why I was like, I'm suspicious of the fact that it might be your thesis.
Thank you.
But yeah, so No Blacks, No Whites. Let's have you tell us what the book is about.
So first off, the book is personal for me.
I can tell.
Yeah, it's personal. It's like me trying to tell my personal story. And also the story of so many people suffering in silence. So the book was born out of pain, right? I got laid off from a job I was so good at. And it turns out it was all down to the fact that it was my skin color. It was down to the fact that it was the way I speak.
Yeah.
It was down to the fact that I'm Nigerian. It was no fault of mine.
Yeah.
So it was, people trying to put you down, trying to say you're not good at this. But it turns out it had nothing to do with the job. It had to do with you. So I felt, wow, all this pain, you know what? I'm going to put it in a book. So this is me trying to vent. So I just felt, you know what? The best way to get back at that pain is to put it in a book. So yeah, that's it. So no, but that's where the idea came from. No blacks, no whites.
So it actually started from your personal experience, which had to do with racism, which you disabused here. You said, no, it's not about racism.
Exactly, yeah. I'm trying not to use the word racism.
Yes, that there are different aspects to it and angles as well. And then from there, it went into you talking about even tribalism, xenophobia, breaking it down, sharing your thoughts on it and all. You know, what you said about, being laid off is actually unfortunate yet common for dark, dark complexion people. Yeah. The fact that, so even in the UK, I know somebody personally who didn't get a job despite being better qualified than a Caucasian.
Absolutely.
Last stage, there were 2 of them, and the other person was picked just because of the color. So it's not synonymous or unique to any part. It's actually something that happens in different parts of the world.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, looking at the content, you were able to mention the different aspects to it. The one that, of course, has relation to me is when you talked about how the media contributes. Yeah. Let's talk about that, how the media contributes to...
Yeah, so talking about the media, right? Give it to the media. They're doing a good job, right? Trying to, enlighten us, trying to educate us. But you also have, especially the social media, so which is not, will I say, regulated as the mainstream media, right?
Yeah.
So you find out that a lot of people take out there, like I was at an event. It was on X, it was on Twitter, it was on X.
Yeah.
And the Nigerian community in the UK invited a journalist, in the UK, very popular journalist, invited him to say, how come you're always posting negative things about migrants, Nigerians? What about the positives? What about the good things we're doing? The NHS,
how they're contributing to the society.
Exactly, how we're contributing. The NHS in the UK is largely migrants. So if you're telling migrants to return to their country, you're going to suffer. Your people are going to die. So why are you not looking at the positives? I work as a consultant. I train mostly the public sector. There's hardly any public sector agency I've not trained. From healthcare to the military, Royal Air Force. So I'm contributing to the economy. Yeah. So why are you not featuring my own story of people like me? You're only looking at someone that, stabbed a black, an African, a migrant stabbed, So you only look at, so we call them...
And such stories are usually projected and sat upon,
exactly.
and my goodness.
People now take to the street to riot in Southport, everywhere. Yeah. Feature the positives. So we told him, are you promising us you're going to start featuring the positives? He said, yes, I do. It was quite fun, like we called him out. Yeah, it was.
And being called out is one thing, and then the result of it. You mentioned the George Floyd incident as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
and
but
how...
that's Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
I think it should be all lives matter. But that was one instance, and it's still happening. It's still happening. I have a friend, who happens to be married to a British lady, and he said his girlfriend, before they got married, she shed tears when they were coming back from an outing, and the police stopped them, and it was done because of him, not because of her.
Because of her.
And she feared for her unborn children. Wow, what kind of world are they going to live in? So you're profiled. You're profiled.
Yes, that's the word, profiling.
Profiled, you know. Just profiled. That's why I said, is that construct? I tell people I'm not a black person because growing up, it's been that construct of black represents evil. Yeah. Black markets, the devil, the demons are blacks, and angels are whites. So how come white people...
You mentioned that as well.
Right, so how come white people... So I tell people I'm not a black, I'm Nigerian.
You know what's interesting? Yeah. There are actually different shades. There's not exactly the black and the whites. They're actually different shades. And you also made reference to the fact that the Chinese suffered this. Yeah. The Indians, especially with the belief that they are mystical. True. And then, of course, you also mentioned several other races, in quotes, so to speak. However, let's bring it home to Nigeria, because I like the fact that almost everything you were talking about, you kept referring to the Nigerian situation as well. Most importantly, the boy who was transferred, I think that's Samuel, who was posted to the northern region for his service year, and his reaction, that was also under the media's effect. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so what I've observed is, I also talked about NYSC and all that. I talked about NYSC. So you realize that, some people, especially in the north, you've lived all your lives in the southern part of Nigeria, and then you go to the north, you find that you're not accepted. You don't feel like you belong to that society. I served in the east, you know, and I could feel people say things like, Ofio Manu. You know, that's so we've got different terms for people from different places, and that's subtle racism. You see what I'm talking about? I mean, I didn't know for a long time that Mola actually means Malam. And this Malam Nasir Rufai is Mr. But then we use it derogatorily.
Mola.
You see what I'm talking about? So it's the same way, you know, we've got abusive terms for people from certain places. So we don't, so it's just to promote.
But you know, the first time someone said that to me, I actually thought that maybe it's being Yorubanized in quotes.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
you know how...
It's derogatory.
It's derogatory.
It's derogatory. And, you know, so my book is just exposing a lot of these things. Like, I've had people tell me, how come you speak very good English? I'm like, wow. All right, you've signed up for real talk. I'm going to
school you today.
I'm going to really school you today. It shows you've never been to any part of Africa. You need to visit. And they think Africa is one country. So you're from Africa. Yeah, I am from Africa, but from Nigeria. There are more than 40 countries. Shows how ignorant you are.
So there's a lot to say about the Nigerian situation, but then as you mentioned the country part, I suddenly remember the particular incident where you were given room 419 when you went for a training, and how it got you as an overthinker, thinking to yourself, okay, have I just been profiled? Is it because of fraud? Please tell us about that particular incident.
Okay, so most of the time I travel around because of the work I do, you know, just going to different client side, delivering trainings. And on this particular occasion, I'm not sure which of the cities now, I was given room 419. That was on the 4th floor. I was like, no, this can't be happening. These guys have come to look for me. Like, is there anything to do with the fact that I'm Nigerian?
Did you ask?
No. So I didn't want to take it personal.
Oh, make it dramatic.
Yeah, because that's another thing. I think we're also conscious. We're usually on defense.
Yes.
We're usually conscious.
You mentioned that.
Yeah. So sometimes we need to be careful. Like I don't know if I cited the other instance where when I moved to Kent at some point in time, they didn't pick my bin, and it turns out I was almost making a case out of it, but it turns out I wasn't doing the right thing. Maybe I wasn't bagging it properly.
The right way.
Yeah, so, but I was almost making a case to say, are you guys selectively ignoring my house because I'm Nigerian? I'm a migrant. So that's the point. We also need to calm down. That's what I'm saying.
So, you know, you have a point there because, especially in America, for example, there's always that belief that Black Americans do too much, in quotes. But then, of course, it's them because they felt like all their lives they've had to defend themselves or, you know, push themselves harder to be understood, to be seen, to be heard. And just before the conversation started, I observed that you're currently based in Ipswich.
Yeah.
How does it feel for you guys to be back in the Premier League?
Oh, yeah. It feels so good. It's they paint everywhere blue.
Everywhere is painted blue. Wow.
And they're telling some of us that belong to other clubs, you know, you need to just get our jersey, you know.
And you know, it's funny that Chiran, of course, he lives around there, and he's a co-owner.
Yeah, owner right now.
But you know, his dad is a Chelsea fan.
He's been
really crazy. But it's good to know that you love football as well.
Oh yeah, I do love football. I'm looking forward to actually watching their games, really.
Wow.
And I told them if they can manage to beat the Gunners, the Invincibles, maybe I'm going to decamp.
Okay, that's the end of the conversation. 22 years out of the Premier League and your focus is on... Do you know I'm an Arsenal fan?
Oh,
You're beating more than you can chew. We need... Talking about chewing, yes, we need to go for breakfast right now, but you have beaten more than you can chew. Let's go for breakfast.
Wow.
You're welcome to the kitchen, Tunji. Yes. Breakfast is by Chef Arela. Right. It's macaroni macaroni salad. So we'd like for you to dig in, have a taste of this. Wow. A lot of love and work went into this. Wow. So I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. So here we go.
Right, thank you.
Please dig in.
Right.
Yeah. And let us know
good. I like the colors. It's
so
colorful. Nice. Chef
wow,
Arela.
Tastes so good.
Nice.
Tastes so good.
Oh, great.
Nice. Glad
that you like it. Well done, Chef. Well done, Arela. Well done.
And thank you for watching.
Thank you. Yep, it's been a wonderful show. Thank you for being a part of this Thursday episode. We will see you tomorrow for our FFF.
Have a great day, people. Bye.